Hello everyone. Today's video is basically a planning with Steph video. It's a writing planner thing. Today we're going to be talking about planning, how I plan my writing schedule, and I'm going to give you guys a walkthrough of my favorite planner, which is the 2022 Publishing Planner by authorproductivity.com. So I've been using this planner for about 5 years now. For those of you who don't know, I have 4 different pen names, and I produce about 12 published pieces a year, including books, novellas, that sort of thing. So my list of publishing chores is long and tedious, and I have to do something to keep myself organized. As you can see in the background, my office is a complete disaster right now, and I apologize for that, but it is what it is. I plan like crazy, though, because I have so much going on. Aside from the part-time day job and all the stuff around the house to do, and family and all of that, I also have to plan my publishing. So the main reason I use this particular planner, I'm going to put that up here. You'll notice I put stickers and everything on here. Yours will not come with stickers or tabs. I put the tabs on myself. But the main reason I use this particular planner for my publishing business is because everything the self-published author needs, and as someone who also publishes other authors, it does a good job of managing my entire publishing business. So it keeps me on track, basically. Now, it's an especially useful planner if you're an author who releases multiple times a year. I've always been rather prolific, so I always release 6 to 12 times a year. But this planner would also work for someone who only releases a few times a year, and I'll tell you why. Because it can help you stay on top of your projects and motivate you to not become lazy. After all, the only way to get anything done is to sit your butt in the chair and fingers on the keyboard, okay, and then put words on the page. So let's look at the first pages. So like the first thing you're going to see, aside from like your name and everything, is first of all the instructions, but then you have your annual planner at a glance for 2022 on one page. And then it also does 2023 on the next page, so you kind of just get an idea of what you've got going on for the year. And on that annual planner at a glance, I always put the big events happening each month, like conventions or retreats, and release schedules. So right now, since I've just started this planner, I've only got 2 definite releases planned because they're already up for pre-order. So that kind of gives me an idea. I just kind of look at that and I go, okay, well, I've got 2 releases scheduled, one for March, one for May, and it kind of gives me an idea mentally of where I am. So you'll notice that I have added tabs. You can buy all sorts of different types of tabs, and you can get them almost anywhere off of Amazon. Different planner companies have them. I personally like the leathery type ones. They kind of suck because they get, sometimes the pages will stick together if you don't stick them right, but they tend to last longer. And one thing I've noticed with like the harder paper tabs is they, after a while, as the year goes on, they start to bend. But since this mostly stays on my desk, that's not a problem. So they don't end up looking as scary by the end of the year, and they hold up to being bent and knocked around a little bit more. So you'll have to, choose your tabs and work with them as, whatever you like. The next thing it has, once you get that, is the quarterly planner. And this is actually kind of cool because I can mark, like my pink marked dates are weeks that I'm at the office for my part-time day job. More often than once, I help at the family business, so that's really super important. You get basically a quarter page And so that's kind of cool for just glancing, for just giving it a glance and seeing what's what. I have red stars on the first of each month because I have to do royalty reports and get that information to my authors. Let's see. And since this planner is specifically for my writing, I only put things in here that are going to affect my writing in some way. So that's why I think it's important to have a quarterly view. And then we go into the month page. So the cool thing about this is this planner starts with December, so you can start right away. For those of you who have not yet bought your publishing planner, you probably want to order now, so you'll have it by January 1st, or at least the first couple weeks of January. So the month page is fantastic because on one side you have the calendar, and on the other side you have this great information page. But let's look at the calendar first. Just a standard calendar. I'm kind of a minimalist planner, so you're not going to see tons of stickers. I put them in there just to motivate me and for fun, but whatever. But the great thing about this is this particular page. So you can write down all of your important bits to remember. And this planner has like goals for each month right here. And then you've got your titles launching for the month, so you know what you kind of got going. And then you've got any special promos, which is important. Newsletter information. I have not yet filled in my newsletter for December. Contests and giveaways, different newsletter swaps, and then expenses and advertising down at the bottom. So that's really handy. The advertising expenses part, really important for if you are keeping your budget, and it's going to be a lot easier when you go to put together all of your stuff at the end of the year for your taxes. So after the monthly page, you're going to find 2 pages for notes. This is where I do my brain dump and I kind of do my goal setting. Sometimes I'll use it as a scrapbook and take printed pictures from events or writer type gatherings. Sometimes I just throw stickers in here. You can really do anything you want with these pages. So they're just note pages, which is always a good thing. And they're not lined or anything, so you can draw, you can do whatever. And then it moves into the weekly spreads. And it's kind of a week at a glance thing. But this is really good for me because I am a list maker, and there's plenty of places for me to make lists. So you have here, in this is a Sunday start. I'm generally a Monday start person, but since this sits on my desk all the time for writing, that's fine for me. The one thing that you have here is you have things to do this week. So you've got a nice long list there. You've got places to be each day. You've got your daily writing tracking. You've got your blocks of focus. You got a nice quote down here. You've got a whole social media section. Oh, you can't even see that. Let me see. A whole social media section underneath each day because it's a columnar layout. And then it's kind of cool. Like down here it has this week will be successful when and that way you can set small measurable goals for yourself, so you're not trying to look at the big picture too much, because sometimes that will cause people to seize up. And then on the other side, there's small notes and miscellaneous down on this side. So you can put anything you want down here. I tend to put like little stickers that have motivational sayings. This one says, "Make it fucking happen." So, but otherwise, it's kind of since I'm a list maker, you'll notice that I just kind of list things that I'm doing. This was actually a release day for A Purloined Solstice, which is my latest cozy mystery / urban fantasy type thing. It's also nice because I can write down where I need to be each day. So if I have appointments or anything, there's like a space for that. So that kind of goes into the weekly spreads. Now, if you go toward the end of each quarter, you're going to find a page called the quarterly check-in. And you can actually go in here and write down like, how many words you wrote that quarter, how many words you edited. Because if you'll notice, like on the weekly pages, remember you're keeping counts of your writing progress and your editing progress here. So you can see like how you did for the quarter, the titles that you launched that quarter, all of your newsletter review, social media hygiene, followers, and then you can write anything you want in the review section, and then there's a place for goal setting for the next quarter. So that's super handy. And then, so it goes through the months. They're all like that. And then you go to the back where you have launch planning. And the launch planning is super helpful, especially if you have a lot of assets that you have to deal with. And you know, as a writer, you have like all of your advertising assets, all of your ebook covers, your full wrap for your paperback. You have to keep track of like all your Facebook graphics, all your Instagram graphics, yada, 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 yada. I mean, there's just so much that you have to keep track of. Swap content, if you're doing a blog tour, there's sections for paid advertising for launch week for each of your books. Newsletter information, where you've uploaded it to, whether or not it's in Kindle Unlimited, the launching price. It has a place to track your ISBN numbers, metadata and keywords, and then tons of notes. So there's basically 2 pages for each launch because there's just so much information. Now, easily you could go ahead and go through and change some of this to meet your needs, but I think you'll find it's actually quite thorough and you'll want to use it just like it is. And then you have your annual planners, and a lot of people are like, well, what the heck would I use an annual planner for? And the good thing about annual planners, I kind of use my annual planner as a series planner. You can use the annual planners for anything. There's a page per day for annual planners. As far as the launches, you have 24 pages for launch. So even if you have 4 pen names, you've got plenty of pages for launching stuff. But your annual planner, how many pages does that have? Let me look, because I think I wrote that down. Well, I didn't look, but there's quite a few pages for annual planning, and I use it as like a series planner. So I know when I'm writing on a series, when I'm editing on a series, and when they're launching. So I have 2 series next year that are launching, brand new series. And for example, the Goetic Witch Mysteries, I'm launching in Mays and Novembers. So this one will be a 3-year series because I'm only launching in May and November. And then Gin and Bourbon, I'm launching these in March and September, so I'm only releasing those in March, September of each year. And since there's only 3 of those, it'll go into 2023 March. So that just kind of helps me figure that out. And then at the very end, I believe there's 4 note pages. Yes, there are. There's like another 4 to 6 note pages, and they're just empty blank pages that you can use for whatever. You can do like reading trackers or, writing sprint trackers. One of the good things is if you're doing sprints each day, there are these blocks of focus boxes. So for each sprint, you can just check a box. So that's kind of a cool feature for writers too. So anyway, that's the self-publishing planner in a nutshell. There is a link to the planner in the description below this video. If you're catching the planner in the middle of the year, there is an undated, so you can start right away. I hope you enjoyed this video, and watch here for more planning videos.